Today on Monson Made This, I am making for you my favorite hearty, manly, stick to your ribs kale salad. So stick around, I'll show you how to make it. I've been actually quite surprised this morning with a couple of people that I've talked to about making a salad and using this phrase, stick to your ribs. How many people haven't heard that phrase, stick to your ribs? It just means it's really filling and hearty. And normally those aren't words that you hear associated with a salad, especially a kale salad. But I believe I have the perfect recipe for this kale salad that just makes it really nice and kind of heavy and filling and dense and rich. And it's great for a meal and it'll keep you satisfied for a couple of hours. So what I have here kind of below me is all of the ingredients that I'm going to be using for this salad today. Kale, of course, is going to be the main component for the greens. My dressing is going to be comprised of tahini, Bragg's liquid aminos, some nutritional yeast, avocado, and lemon. The other things I just had kind of laying around the kitchen, and those are things that I'm just gonna add in there to bulk it up a little bit more, add a bit more flavor and texture. But essentially that kale, tahini, Bragg's liquid amino, nutritional yeast, lemon, and avocado is the base. So yeah, I'm gonna get started cleaning my kale, show you how I do that, and then I'll take you through the process of making this. I have 2 bunches of kale here, and actually the last time I went to the grocery store when I bought these, I found that they were actually quite small pieces of kale, so I got 2 here. Normally when I buy kale, I get home from the store, I clean them, destem them, just quickly kind of fold the leaves around the stem and then pull. The leaves come off really easily. I try to do this when I get home from the store, so I have this kale on hand. As you see, I'm putting them into a salad spinner as well. I do this because I actually find that once I've cleaned up the kale and washed it off, spun it, got all the water off of it, that it actually saves for a lot longer inside of the salad spinner. As you can see, the basket keeps it out of any moisture, so any other moisture that does come off of the kale, it doesn't stick to the kale, so it stays nice and fresh. I don't know, I would say like at least a solid week or so. So I can use it throughout the week, but oftentimes when I make this salad, I use so much that it doesn't last that long. My kale is washed and dry. Now I'm just gonna take some handfuls of it and slice it into thin strips just to make it easier to massage. And I get this is by no means a recipe, but the other day I had a friend over. I got home from work. I wanted to make a quick meal for us. So I told her I was gonna make a kale salad. And this is something I've just been putting together for, I don't know, a couple years now, I guess. And so I'm just kind of used to just throwing these ingredients in, tasting it, and after I made it for her, she loved it. She asked me for the recipe, and I was like, well, there isn't a recipe, it's just the salad that I make. And I told her the basic ingredients. And yeah, so I decided it might be a good idea to share it with you all as well. And I'm gonna use probably just 1 bunch of the kale so that I have enough for another full salad. And you can see this bowl looks pretty full here, but it will wilt down quite a bit when I massage it. So there's the kale. Next thing I want to add to it is the lemon, and I'm just going to be adding the juice of half of a lemon to it. And if you notice, I'm just juicing this into my hand so that I can catch any seeds that might fall out. Doesn't look like there are any in here. Oh, there's one. The purpose of massaging this kale is to break it down. You'll notice that the green color gets a little bit sharper and a little bit brighter. And this is similar to, I guess, kind of like cooking the kale. It makes it a lot more tender, a lot easier to eat. If you didn't do this, you'd be chewing on this kale for quite a while. And just having the lemon juice on there helps that process a little bit better. Again, it just helps to kind of break down the greens. And I get in here with 2 hands. Makes it go a little bit faster. And you'll notice the volume drops down quite a bit. It'll drop by at least half, if not more. My kale is nice and massaged. It has lemon juice on it, which adds a nice bit of acidity. Next thing I'm gonna do is start to layer the other flavors. Next is an avocado, and this is the second half of one I used at breakfast this morning. And I'm just going to break it up inside the skin here a little bit before adding it. I hear a lot of people complain about avocados not lasting, and I see memes online about avocados going from underripe to overripe, and there's never a good window. Well, my trick, because I never really have this problem, is to take a brown paper bag. I just have a small one that I keep around for avocados. I buy avocados that aren't necessarily super ripe, put them in the bag, and I keep those in there a day or two until I can see that they have ripened up. And then, once they're the perfect amount of ripeness, I stick them in the fridge. And that way they stay ripe. I find that they stay in that perfect ripe state for, I don't know, a few days. I never really seem to have an issue with them being too ripe or going bad or anything like that. So in a bag until they're perfectly ripe, then directly into the fridge. So anyways, I have my avocado in here. Next thing I'm gonna add is tahini. And I will have the measurements down below. I'm probably adding about a tablespoon of tahini. My salt is going to be liquid aminos, and I'm gonna add probably just a teaspoon or 2 of that. Last thing is nutritional yeast, and I'm gonna add a pretty generous amount here, a couple to a few tablespoons of that. And then I just wanna take a fork and mix all this together. You could essentially, if you wanted, put all these ingredients in here before you massaged it and massage the avocado and the brags and the nutritional yeast all in together with it. But I find that it gets my hands a little bit too messy, so I like to massage it with just the lemon juice and then toss these in here later. That's pretty much it for the sauce ingredients. At this point, I want to taste it and see how everything is going. So just grab a little leaf. Tastes really nice. Sometimes at this point I find that, excuse me, it needs maybe a little bit more acidity. So I'll add maybe a bit of apple cider vinegar, but it seems like my balance is really nice right now. So I'm not gonna add anything else. And I'm just gonna move on to the other ingredients. So this base, as I said, is really consistent. This is pretty much what I make every time. And depending on what I have on hand, I add different vegetables and things to it. So I have a carrot here, which I've washed and haven't peeled. Sometimes I like to grate the carrot. Today I'm just going to be slicing it into small chunks. And you can use, like I said, any vegetables that you have on hand, anything fresh. I like to use some things that are a little bit sweet and a bit brighter because the flavor of the kale salad by itself is pretty dense. It's got just a nice, really umami rich flavor. So it's does well with sweet things that kind of brighten it up a bit. So there's some carrot. I have a bell pepper here that's about to go bad, and I'm just gonna use a bit of this. Also gonna just do it into a small dice. The salad's really nice. Like I said, it's so good for just like a filling lunch salad. It will hold for quite a while too. The kale is nice and sturdy, so you can make this ahead of time and it'll last a couple of hours like this. It'll get a bit more tender, but that's okay. Or you just make it fresh. All right, so there's some bell pepper. It seems like a joke I see all the time about vegans and protein. Anytime somebody tells somebody they're vegan, that person asks about their protein. I've never personally had that protein conversation with anybody, and it's not something I personally worry about, but a great source of protein is lentils. And I prepared these green lentils that I'm gonna be adding to the salad. I just basically boiled them for about 20 minutes, simmered them on low, drained them, and then tossed them with a little bit of Bragg's liquid aminos. They're amazing. They have just a little bit of body in them, so they add a bit of texture. Plus they've got kind of a nice meatiness, which is gonna be really great and hearty in the salad. Again, this is our stick to your ribs kale salad, and this is really just gonna help fill you up as well. In addition to that, I have some sunflower seeds. And these are raw sunflower seeds, but also will help to keep you filled. And the last thing I'm gonna add, just for a bit of sweetness and texture, are some raisins. I didn't really like raisins that much as a kid because they were always dry in those little boxes, but I bought a bag of these like organic raisins the other day at the natural grocers, and I've been kind of obsessed with them. They're juicy and flavorful, and you know that joke about raisins being nature's candy. I actually said it the other day. I was like, they're like candy. But no one's ever really said that about raisins, but I said it. So, well, that's pretty much it. That's all the ingredients. I'm gonna go ahead and toss this together, put it in a nice serving plate to make it pretty for you all, and then that's it. I know what you're thinking, a kale salad? Where's this normal comfort recipes? Well, this is a really comforting, delicious, hearty salad. That's why I say it's like a stick to your ribs, manly kale salad, because eating this is really just a solid meal that's gonna hold you over for quite a while. So makes a great lunch, even a great dinner. This is my go-to after school snack quite a lot of the time if I have kale in the fridge or if the avocados are fresh. So let's go ahead and give this a try. It's that base sauce with the avocado and the tahini and the nutritional yeast. It just has such a deep umami flavor. It's just, I don't know, it's like, I wouldn't call it cheesy per se, but I guess that's the closest equivalent. It's just really rich and solid. Plus you add the other vegetables that kind of brighten it up, add a bit of texture. It's just an incredible dish. So I would definitely give this a try. Like I said, this is my solid go-to salad. Pretty much the only salad I eat on a regular basis. And once you make this, I think you're gonna be kind of addicted to it. It's just really a great salad. So give that a try. Also, I'd mentioned in a last video or last couple of videos that I was planning on doing other content on this channel. I'm still planning on doing that. I've just been kind of busy with work and other things that I haven't had a chance to turn the camera on myself and do some other things with it. So just stick around. There will be some more content coming up very soon. If you did like this video, you do like the salad, give it a thumbs up. Let me know any variations that you've made to it, or if you've made anything similar to this, and you know how really great this type of salad can be. Also subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. Lots of other great recipes on here. Watch those, make those, comment, let me know what you thought of those as well. So that's it for today. That's it for this week. Stick around for next Monday's recipe video. I'll have something a little bit more complex than just a salad, but you have a great week, and I will see you next Monday. Yeah, I'll see you next Monday. Have a great week.